In this video, I just want to talk about the current state of the cybersecurity job market, specifically the entry level. And the majority of the people that are in this field are middle-aged and or haven't even been in any entry-level field in the last like 5, 10, 20 years. So I graduated less than a year ago and I'm currently working as a SOC analyst. And I want to talk about the cybersecurity job market from the perspective of someone who has gone through the process in the last year and had to break into it. I think I have some pretty fresh insight and opinions, and I'm going to give you 3 things you need to do if you want to get an entry-level cybersecurity job. And I'm going to talk about the job market as a whole from the perspective of a new guy. Can you even get an entry-level security job? Even if it's your first job, even if you've got no experience? Reddit will tell you no. Go work help desk. How dare you? Cybersecurity is not an entry-level field, and it never has been. Turn on the news and they'll tell you there is hundreds of thousands of unfilled jobs. There's a shortage. Please help us. Oh my gosh. Employers are lining up. We'll hire anyone with a pulse and a strong password. What's the truth? The truth, can you get an entry-level cybersecurity job? First job, no experience? In my experience, yes, with some conditions. In 2024, this field does have an entry level. It exists. I'm living proof of that. Contrary to what some people will tell you, there is an entry level in cybersecurity. Whether or not you make it into that entry level, that depends on a lot of different things, the majority of which are in your control. But is it possible? Yes, absolutely. You don't have to listen to the old head gatekeepers on Reddit. It is possible. Maybe I'm the exception and not the rule, and what do I know anyways? I'm a new guy, but I absolutely believe that there's room in this field for anyone who truly wants to be in it. You are going to have your own unique experience and your own circumstances, but I believe there are some golden rules that apply to anyone and everyone trying to break into this field, and I think across the board there are rules and strategies to this game of getting hired in cybersecurity. I'm going to give it to you straight, 100% honest about my experience going from someone with no experience to getting hired as a SOC analyst, and everything I would say if I was talking to myself 12 months ago. The first important thing I had to do to get into cybersecurity was shape my mindset. You got to realize that those salary numbers, the availability of jobs, all that was probably lied to you from college or the internet or the media or these advertising boot camps. You don't even know how long this is going to take. For me, it took months. And when I started, I had all these expectations and timelines that made it harder. So definitely leave your expectations at the door if you haven't already. The first important thing I asked myself that I had to figure out first before you can do anything, do you even know what you want? Like, what's the job title that you want? What is the name of the position that you want? Do you even know what jobs exist in this field? Are you just looking and browsing? Do you even know about the field? Like, have you actually looked in depth into the field and watched day in the life videos or read about what people actually do? If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. Aim small, miss small. You can't apply too narrow, write the perfect resume and a unique cover letter for every job because you're going to burn out. And you also can't spray your applications everywhere and go too broad because then you will be a mediocre fit for all of these instead of a really good fit for a select few. I had to figure out what is the actual job I want, what kind of skills does that role require. Then you need to tailor your resume and become a good candidate for it. The second thing I had to do getting an entry-level job in cybersecurity is I had to get good at getting a job. You need to have a sharp resume. It needs to be formatted well. It needs to communicate clearly that you are a good candidate for this exact job. That's your very first impression and how you're going to get your foot in the door to actually talk to people and get an interview and, hey, I'm more than just a piece of paper. Once you're there, then you need to know how to sell yourself. You need to know how to answer questions that you don't know the answer to. For any human on planet Earth that's trying to get hired anywhere, these are the skills you need to get a job. And that does not exclude cybersecurity. If you take nothing else from this video, I think the single greatest thing impacting whether or not you are successful in getting a job in this field is how many jobs you applied to. This is your direct correlation to improve your chances. It's a measurable, quantifiable, apply to this many, your odds go up this much. Over the course of 4 months, I easily easily applied to over 1,000 jobs. If you are watching this and you've applied to 100 jobs or less, that is the single best thing you can do to improve your odds. Apply. Every time you hit apply, that's another chance that one of them might work out. Because the thing is, based on my experience, you send out 100 applications and about 97 of them are going to be a bad reply, a late reply, no reply. It's going to be a bot who says, hey, oh my God, you are amazing. We are so grateful for you. You are awesome. You are not hired. We went with someone else. About 3 of them are going to be interested based on what they see on your resume. Probably 2 of those are going to be not a good fit for you or them or both. And one of them, if you're lucky, one of them has the potential to be a good, meaningful interview at somewhere that would be a good fit. 1 out of 100. Some of these postings are outdated, fake, filled internally, so it doesn't even matter that you applied. Some of them will never apply to you. It can be hard to find relevant job opportunities, but believe me, there are thousands of them. And in my experience, the narrower I looked, the harder it was to see anything. But the wider net I could cast, the more I would reel in. By that, I mean I had to become a lot more flexible and versatile and broaden my options in order to find something that worked for me. I'll give you a quick example. Are you looking for a job? Do you want to improve your odds by 10,000%? Just be willing to move for the job. Be willing to move and relocate. You open up so many doors with that. And it's the same thing with the type of job, job description, company, the salary, the hours, all of that. If you can be flexible and versatile with that, it gives you a much bigger field to work in and actually find and get something. Number 3, be the best candidate. You need to set yourself apart. You need to be the top candidate because at the end of the day, they're all going with the best candidate, the best fit in their eyes. You have to be the best choice. You have to make the most sense. Something about you has to make you better than the rest. Those first 2 can be applied to anyone trying to get any job, pretty much. But this last one, number 3, you need to be the best candidate. And I want to talk about what that means in cybersecurity. From my experience, there are 4 things that matter and that make your value as a candidate. Number 1 is your network or who you know. Number 2 is your experience or what you've done. Number 3 is technical skills and projects. So what can you do? And number 4 is your education and certifications, your credentials. For your network and who you know, you got to reach out to people and let them know you're applying. If you can get a hand anywhere, that is going to help you greatly. For your experience, if you can get an internship, if you can get a college help desk job or a college capstone class type of thing, that's going to matter a lot. For your technical skills and projects, check out Try Hack Me, Hack the Box, CTFs, and just go online and look around. There are so many free resources to learn and demonstrate technical skills. And then lastly, your credentials like a college degree or a certification. And in my experience, this hierarchy is also the order of value. So you would take someone with a college degree or some certifications over someone who had none of these because he has more value. He's got a formal education, but you would take someone with technical skills and technical projects over someone with just a certification because those technical skills and projects can demonstrate that you actually know how to do what is required of the job. It shows that you've not just learned about it on paper or done some theory. You actually have hands-on experience. Speaking of experience, work experience trumps all of that because that means, hey, you've actually gotten paid to do this before. So you definitely know how to do what we're asking. And then more than that, sometimes it's the guy who knows the hiring manager who gets the job over all the other candidates. You have to do what you got to do to be the best candidate. You got to be the top candidate, set yourself apart, go through these areas and figure out where you're lacking, how you can improve, if you can get certifications, if you can do technical projects, if you can do an internship, and know your stuff when you get interviewed. You'll probably be asked. There are plenty of people trying to get that job, the same one you're applying to, and you have to be the best choice in the employer's eyes. Those are the 3 most important things that I had to do to break into cybersecurity at the entry level. For some context, I graduated last year with a degree in informatics and a cognate in cybersecurity. I graduated with no experience. I didn't do any internship. I didn't have any experience at all. Honestly, at first, I really didn't even know what I wanted. I didn't know anything about the reality of the cybersecurity field. And for a timeline, it took me about a month to figure out, like, yes, this is the field that I want to be in. This is the specific job that I want, and this is what they do. And to actually just learn about, like, real life, what the field is, because college was an inch deep and a mile wide, and I left with a basic understanding, but definitely no in-depth knowledge of the real world cybersecurity field. And after that, I took about another month to become a good candidate for the job. So I did the Google Professional Cybersecurity certification. I got the SOC Analyst Level 1 certificate on TryHackMe and got my Security Plus certificate from CompTIA. And I started doing technical projects and writing them up and documenting them on my GitHub. And from there on, it took probably 4 months plus and easily over 1,000 applications to finally get an offer and get officially hired as a cybersecurity SOC analyst. And another question I see a lot of people ask is, do you need a degree to get into the field? What do I know? I'm a new guy and I had a degree, but my opinion, no. Does it help your chances? Absolutely. Is it the most important thing? No. I think you can make up for a degree in many ways, and I think the field in general is moving away from the value and importance that traditional employers put on college degrees, because I think it's a lot more important and relevant that you have technical ability. I think the strongest way you can make up for a degree is technical projects. So setting up a home lab, documenting, proving that you have technical skills. You can also do certifications, and my advice is, if you want to get into cybersecurity, just get Security Plus. Just go straight there and get that one. But it leads me into the point, in my humble opinion, that the current state of the entry-level cybersecurity job market is in shambles. It's not great, especially for new people. It is not for the weak. You've got the cybersecurity boom with the high promising salaries and quote-unquote job shortage, colleges beginning to offer programs and degrees, boot camps and ads for the field, unlimited courses and certifications coming out. And this all leaves the entry-level market flooded. Add to that picky employers with strict requirements, interest, inflation, hiring freezes, constant layoffs in tech. It's a rough place. It is a rough place. And it can be extremely discouraging. The job shortage, I think, is a hiring shortage. And it's not really from a gap in skills, but kind of a gap in hiring, that employers want to pay less, yet expect the entry-level applicants to have multiple years of experience, multiple certifications. Grant Collins made a video on this talking about the same thing, about how we need to bring more people in and train them from the ground up. But there are still good companies out there who will give you the time of day, who are willing to bring you on and train you, even if you don't have the experience. Be the best top candidate that you can be. And at the end of the day, trying to break in this field is a little bit of a numbers game. Sometimes you just gotta brute force it.